Hey, mates, blind prime cream. What are you doing? We're just starting a video, cream. Blind prime and cream the cat here with a GI Joe Classified series figure that we've all been waiting on in the GI Joe Classified fandom, and that's Major Blood. Major Blood came out years ago. Due to it being a terrible exclusive, it was terribly acquired, meaning that nobody found one in the wild. And oh my god, if you knock that off my table, I am going to be upset with you, Cream. Don't touch that. Yeah, I heard you messing with something plastic, and the only thing plastic over there is something I don't want you knocking off the table. You bad cat. You bad cat. No! Oh my god! Don't mess with Mr. Fantastic and his Fantastica. Alright, where was I? Yes, the G.I. Joe Classified series. Major Blood, the re-release. They finally did it. Anybody out there who didn't get a Major Blood before and who doesn't have the over $100 Major Blood is worth for in the secondary market, well, you can finally get yours for about $6 more than it was, that it cost on the shelf, made with inferior materials. I got to be honest with you. That's the whole thing about these videos and stuff, right? My honesty. My honesty is, out of the gate, this thing cost $6 more than it did when it initially came out. Well, no, $5 if we're being right. If we're being really correct with this, and that's just it's just wild that it cost $5 more in less than 5 years, and it's made with materials that feel like they didn't cost as much to make or maintain as they did less than 5 years ago. So today, I wish I had the original Major Blood so we could do a nice little size comparison and figure out, it was new Major Blood better than old Major Blood. But I can go over this Major Blood and make some assumptions, some educated guesses, I guess, based on, well, this G.I. Joe Classified series bat. Where did he go? Oh, he fell. Yeah, my bat here. Because the bat is from around the same time period as Major Blood. So we'll use the bat if we need some extra assistance in comparing things from the past to the future. That all being said, please like, share, and subscribe to help me raise awareness for the blind and the visually impaired through action figures and talking about them. I mean, after all, if you never came across a blind person before, where did that rocket go? Oh, I hate these rockets. If you never came across a blind person before, you'd be quite surprised. Here's the rocket. That one is playing with action figures, right? So wouldn't awareness be created right then and there? It would. Cream, no! Oh my god, you knocked the hood off. I can't talk about Major Blood. Licking my face. Stop it. Okay, Cream, don't bite my nose. Oh my god, Cream. Move over here. Let's talk about this. The sooner I talk about this figure, the sooner I can feed you. You would like that. I mentioned it. I mentioned the F word. Oh. Don't talk about food around Cream. No, Cream. You just get away. Okay. All right. So the hood for him is very similar to Zartan's hood, except the hood for is it Zartan? Or is it was the guy with the cool sword and the color changing aspect. That character. I'm pretty sure that's Zartan, but I'm not exactly sure. But I'm pretty sure. Anyway, it's the hood very similar to his, except it's got a little point on the front that goes down to cover the nose. Texture-wise, it's got some decent textures to it, but nothing really special that we haven't seen before. Though it does have a flaw in that there is a line that runs across the entire thing from the mold. So there's a little mold slag on this thing. That's a shame. And I really wish they had found a way to not have that happen. Cream. Anyway, moving over here, we've got one of the cooler accessories he comes with, in my opinion, which is the triple dog tags to symbolize I think it's the 3 Joes that he's taken out. I don't remember them off the top of my head, but I really like the dog tags, and I wish that more of our Joes had come with dog tags. Since this is one of the first ones that came out, or at least in the first few waves, you would think that they would have just kept giving us dog tags afterwards. I mean, they had the mold for them, right? And now we go around over here. We're going to talk about this gun on the side of him, because the gun's got some really cool textures to it. It's really hard to get out of that holster. Nuts. Why did that happen? What just... Okay. Okay. The other rocket stayed in the backpack, which is good, which is very good. And we're gonna go ahead and attach the other rocket, the second rocket, to the backpack, which is also good. We're gonna try and find the shoulder pauldron that fell off, which is not good. So that's something. I don't know if the original guy had a shoulder pauldron that occasionally fell off, but this guy has got a shoulder pauldron that occasionally falls off. It is not fun. It is kind of annoying that this even happens in the first place. I was not expecting this to happen, and this definitely hurts the figure when it comes to the final grade and the score of him. That pauldron's really cool, except when you find out that it's not really attached very well. And I'm pretty sure if they'd used different materials, it would have been attached much better, because the materials they initially used weren't as squishy or springy as the materials that they are now using, which are what I nicknamed the cost-cutting materials, because that's basically what they are, right? Whatever they're using to try and cut costs and still increase the price of the action figure at the same time. Nope, not getting into it. All right, where was I? On the accessories. Right, the gun, because Cream interrupted me. So we've got a typical, a giant revolver. It's more of a John Wayne revolver, or big cowboy action hero revolver. It's huge. I'm pretty sure it's shiny. I really hope it's shiny. It's got a little barrel where the ammunition is stored, and of course it's got the gun barrel itself, though it's a small caliber into it because they wanted you to be able to plug blast effects into it. I think it would also have been kind of neat if it was a large bore of Cream. So that's the pistol. It's pretty big. It's a little longer than his forearm. Now, that's his big pistol. His small one is on his backpack, and it's like a little laser pistol. And there's not really much to talk about with that one. Every time Cream comes over here, I've got to catch this guy, and every time I catch this guy, he changes his position, and now he doesn't want to stand up anymore. There we go. So the laser pistol on the side of Major Blood here, we're just going to take out the missiles. It's kind of neat. It's a little laser pistol. There's not really much to say about it. There is something to say about all the accessories, but we're going to get to that when we're done with them, because I don't want to repeat myself. The gun has some really cool textures on the side, a little bit of sculpt work. I do like the bulbous laser point end. It's a decent little gun, and it's got a little post on the side, so it sticks into the backpack. And that's because the older G.I. Joe Classified series figures, they put little posts on the guns and clipped them to the sides of the backpack. And I think it was Beachhead that was one of the first ones where they actually did little posts sticking out of the backpack, and then you kind of hooked the trigger of the gun on that little post, and that's actually worked out a lot better than this method with the post on the gun. Little G.I. Joe Classified knowledge for you. Now I come over here to this weird backpack made of very rubbery material. It's got 2 slots in it for the missiles to be plugged in, and we've got some textures that symbolize kind of a rocket control unit or something like that. It feels kind of sci-fi and mechanical. And then below where the rockets sit, we have a little area that's kind of a tray, and that's to hold the backblast from the rockets whenever they launch. And of course, we got the 2 rockets. They're made out of rubber as well, so they're very springy. And I think that the original rockets for this would have been made out of hard plastic, which would have made them actually clip in to these clips much better than the rubbery rockets do. The rubbery rockets are okay, but they don't clip into these clips very well. They just don't like to stay in. And that's his accessories. His accessories are subpar in my opinion, and they do bring down the overall grade of this action figure, and I'll tell you that straight out of the gate. Now let's get into the actual action figure here, talk about the way he feels. He's wearing weird little cowboy boot kind of things. It feels like a mixture between the Cobra assault boots and cowboy boots. So it's like the cowboy boot met sci-fi. And I like that aspect to it. After all, the original thought process with G.I. Joe Classified was to try and make it as G.I. Joe plus sci-fi as they possibly could. Cream, you will get fed once the video is done. All you have to do is wait. But you're not known for your patience. Moving up here to the pants, because the boots are kind of neat. The most interesting aspect I find about them is the fold over leather to protect the toe. Really cool. Kareem, will you please move over here? Look, my hand's over here. Oh yeah, go to the hand. I love that you're a stupid orange cat sometimes. Okay, so the pants-wise, we've got some really cool woolen texture going on here. I like that the pants are bunched up into the boot. We've got double-jointed knees, and we do have a negative here at the knee pads with more slag from the mold. We've got these lines that are in the knee, one line in each knee, and that's left over from the mold, and I wish they had sanded that down a bit more before painting. Cream, oh my god. Moving up here to the thighs, we've got some really good, well done sculpting with these thighs. I like I like how the wrinkles are, especially on the inner thigh area. This thing's really, really fun, really well done when it comes to the textures, and it's a pleasure for the nips, that's for sure. We get on his back area, his butt panel, if you will, we get two back pockets that are each etched in there very well. On the front area, let's see, do we even have that little? Yeah. We even have the crease that goes between there. So we've even got that folded over crease. So I guess he's wearing blue jeans. So that means there should be a folded over crease on the side going down his leg. And wait, it's right there. I can feel it. Yeah, there's hints of it. It's folded in and out like they are well-worn pants. But there's the taste of it right there. So that's cool. We get we get that seam, and that's neat. So these things on his knees aren't seams, but the things on the sides of his legs are seams. Now we're going to move up here to his belt. Really done okay, the belt. The belt's alright. We got okay textures with it. I like the belt buckle, which is this circle thing that has a little depth to it. We get a couple of pockets in the belt, but overall, not much more. On the front of his groin area, we've got the little folded over bit that hides the zipper for blue jeans, and a blue jeans a button right below the belt. You can kind of feel it when you pick the belt up, and that's cool. I like that attention to detail, and of course, that's the thing I love most as a blind person about the G.I. Joe Classified Series line. Then we move over here to his cuirass, because it's the only thing I could think to call it. It's a piece of armor that covers the lower abdomen, and it kind of comes to a point, and it's got kind of a steel texture to it. Reminds me a little bit of scrap iron or other kind of a little more armored characters. So we got that metal texture going on for those lower panels. The upper panels have very similar textures, but they're broken up a bit more than this lower panel, which stretches across his his lower abdomen, kind of similar to a heavyweight championship belt in a way. Each of his pecs is this bit of armor that covers it, and between that we've got kind of a seam where this armor can actually unfold. It feels like it can unfold to allow his upper chest to breathe more. And then we come around. There's not much more to talk about. There's some etching on one of his pecs and something on the other, but I can't really tell for sure. Moving over here to his left arm, we've got a long sleeve shirt texture that goes all the way down to where the gauntlet covers, and the gauntlet has very similar textures to his cuirass. He's got a big old gauntlet hand, and there's not really much going on with the arm other than that. We've got some excellent sculpt work and articulation. Not a butterfly per se, it wiggles, but with double jointed elbow, rotation in the hand, rotation in the bicep, and I think this is a vertical. Is it the vertical hand? Yeah, he's got a vertical hand on his left hand. For his right arm is the special arm. He's He's got this awesome pauldron that I like playing with. It keeps falling off, but I do enjoy it. It feels really cool. It feels very sci-fi aspect. It works for the for Major Blood, and we've got this really fun arm underneath that shoulder pauldron. It feels like Terminator kind of arm. We've got thin robotic textures going on here. That elbow of his is very cool. I kind of wish it had a spike on it. I think if it had a couple of spikes, that would have really been neat. But for the most part, this arm is really cool. We got a bicep swivel going on there, and then down here is a hand swivel, and this hand moves side to side. And the textures are just really, really cool. I like how this feels like a very thin robot arm that just has some layers of steel pressed upon it. And then we finally get up here to his head, where we've got this over his left eye, this really cool eye patch. Oh my god, Cream. It's got some fun textures to it, and it feels like there's scarring going on his face below it, or it actually could cover the entire left side of his face. It may do one or the other, but I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments below what's going on with the left side of his face there, and that eye patch. And then on the right side, we've got a decent eye. We've got eyebrow. We've got an okay nose, and doesn't really feel like much else. It's really special. I do enjoy the haircut. He's shaved it really close to the skin on either side. Actually, it's shaved bald on either side of his head, leaving this really close cut mohawk on top with some awesome ears. Very nicely done. The articulation for his head is really good. We can pull an exorcist. We can look down very far. Like, wow. We can look up very far. Like, wow. And then there's some textures in this neck. He's actually got an Adam's apple kind of textured in there, and that just adds to the fun of this figure. And I hate that I'm experiencing Major Blood for the first time on such a subpar version of him. I know the Cobra Island Major Blood had to have been better because the materials they used were better. But this is really close to what we got back then, I'm pretty sure. We may have some accessories missing that I'm unaware of, but for the most part, I think this guy's all together. So my final grade on him will be a B+, because overall, Major Blood was an excellent action figure. Would I give it S tier? Probably. But, updated Major Blood, he's a little lackluster. But for the most part, I think he's a decent get. He does cost $6 more than he did when he originally came out, or 5 more, depending on where you're at. And that's a shame. He costs a bit more, and he's made with very rubbery weapons, where the original Major Blood was made with hard plastic weapons and cost less. So which one do you want? Because the first Major Blood on the secondary markets, he's a kind of a pricey boy these days. But it all depends on you. Which one do you want? This one is the cheaper option, and it's the better option in my opinion for the price that you pay. Because I don't think any G.I. Joe classified figure by themselves is worth as much. Anyway, I've blathered on long enough about this guy. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode. I've enjoyed making it. And before I completely let you go today, let's go ahead and do the one thing that I enjoy doing most often on my channel, and that's a quick size comparison. We've got the Cobra Bat here, so we can put this guy back to bat. I always love saying that. Back to bat. Yeah. And figure out which one of these characters is the tallest. Is it the Bat or is it the Blood? And the Bat and the Blood, very similar in height. Like, incredibly similar in height. The dorsal fin's got it on the Bat, though. The little fin he's got on his head makes him the taller guy. Shoulder-wise, both the same. And arm-wise, they're pretty good overall. I do think that the Bat's cybernetic arms have got nothing on Major Blood's crazy awesome cybernetic arm, and I kind of wish they had done this cybernetic arm with the Bats, because it would have been much cooler. But I've blathered on long enough, and I have got to feed Cream. He is going crazy for kibble. Who's a crazy cat? Who's a crazy kibble cat? You're a crazy kibble cat. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. Please tune in next Prime. We're going to be talking about Studio Series Bumblebee from Transformers 1. Until then, bye-bye for now.